All right, let's just jump right in. We all remember how the App Store just completely changed everything, right? It put a million different functions right in our pocket. But what if that exact same idea could, walk right off the screen and into our physical lives? That's what we're going to get into today. This massive shift from downloading apps to downloading roles.
And this right here, this is the heart of the whole idea. For the last 15 years, our phone has been the platform for all of our digital tools. But this next big platform, the humanoid robot, it's not really about digital stuff. It's about doing things in the real world, performing services, behaviors, and even building relationships.
So we really need a totally new way of thinking about this. An app is just a piece of software on a screen, but an app for the real world? It's got to be able to walk upstairs, open a door, understand social cues. It has to interact with us safely. It needs to be so much more than just a function. It needs to be a role.
Which, of course, leads to the big question, right? What are we actually talking about when we say a robot is downloading a role? Okay, so here's the definition. A role package is a complete set of behaviors. So think of it less like you're installing a calculator app and more like you're hiring a specialist for a specific job. It takes human services, things like housekeeping, tutoring, physical training, and it bundles them into a single file that you can just download.
Now, this is where it gets really, really cool, because a role isn't just one piece of code, it's this layered package. You start with the objective, that's the main goal. Then you've got the behavior tree, which is basically the robot's playbook for how to react in any situation. But what I find so fascinating is the persona layer, the voice, the way it looks at you, its personality. And then wrapping all of that up is the most important part, the ethical rules. These are the built-in guardrails that make sure it always operates safely and predictably.
So if you can download all these complex roles, you're going to need a place to get them from, right? Well, welcome to the Role Store. This is the ecosystem, the marketplace, where this whole new service economy is going to live.
And just look at the sheer scope of this. The possibilities are huge. We're not just talking about cleaning the floors. We are talking about every single major part of our lives. How we run our homes, how we learn, how we stay healthy, how we work, even how we have fun. This covers pretty much the entire service economy.
Let's make this real for a second. Imagine downloading a role for an elderly care assistant. This isn't just some machine ticking off a to-do list. It's a role that's specifically designed for companionship, for gentle reminders, and for genuine, real support.
Or how about something totally different? A math coach for your kids. A role with a persona that's built from the ground up to be patient, encouraging, and super clear with its explanations.
Or maybe even a rehab trainer, one that can guide you through physical therapy exercises right in your own home. It would have the kind of precision and consistency that only a machine can offer, but with a supportive, coaching personality. The versatility is just staggering.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how would it actually work for you, the user? How do you take one of these roles from the store and make it a part of your life, safely and in a way that actually works? The whole idea is built around you being in control. You'd start by downloading a base role, something like a home helper. But then you get to set the specific rules, like, hey, you're only allowed in the living room. You can then add on extra skills, like a laundry folding plugin. But the most important thing is that all of this runs on top of a core safety OS. Think of that like the robot's conscience. It's this fundamental layer of protection that is always on and you can't turn it off. It makes sure it always acts within safe limits.
So, as you can probably see by now, this is so much bigger than just a new product. This represents a huge, profound shift in our economy, in our society. It could honestly change the very nature of work and services as we know them.
And this slide just shows that shift perfectly. The old way, you hired a person for a single job, let's say a housekeeper. The new way, that job gets unbundled into a whole collection of specific, downloadable roles. You might download a cooking role just for weekday dinners, and then a totally separate pet care role for when you go on vacation. Labor becomes modular. But it goes even deeper than that. This isn't just about breaking down tasks. The most profound change here is that we will start downloading relationships.
Just think about what these examples really mean. An AI mentor to help guide your career, a companion for an elderly relative who's feeling lonely, a focus coach to keep you on track, a storyteller for your kids. These roles aren't just transactional. They're fundamentally built on interaction, personality, and trust.
So when you have a paradigm shift this massive, it obviously creates an incredible opportunity.
And the natural question is, who's going to build this future? Who's going to win the race to build the first great role store?
Well, it looks like we're going to have three major types of players in this race. You've got your OS giants, like an Apple or a Samsung, who are just masters at creating these amazing integrated hardware and software ecosystems. Then you have the robot manufacturers themselves, obviously. And then you have the big service industry giants, hotels, hospitals, schools, who could package up their real-world expertise into these best-in-class role packages.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most critical takeaway from all of this. The competition in this new humanoid era, it won't be about who has the strongest motors or the longest battery life. The real battle, the one that will decide who wins and who loses, will be all about the quality of the ecosystem. How big, how capable, how safe, and ultimately, how trustworthy is your Rose store? That is the question that is going to shape our future with this technology.